the internet just exploded again. Candace Owens, one of the most controversial and outspoken political figures of this decade, has just done something that no one, not even her biggest critics, saw coming, in a move that's now being called the most shocking post of her career. Candace publicly shared Charlie Kirk's private message to his wife, and the ripple effect has shattered social media. Within minutes of posting it, millions of people were scrambling to screenshot it before it vanished. Because this wasn't a motivational quote, a religious blessing, or even a political rant, it was raw, emotional, and deeply personal. The kind of message that should have stayed private. The post hit like a nuclear bomb across Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. Influencers gasped, politicians panicked, and fans went into meltdown mode. People weren't just confused, they were stunned. Because for the first time, Candace wasn't talking about culture, race, or politics. She was talking about love, betrayal, and truth. And she did it using someone else's words. But here's where it gets even darker. The message she shared, allegedly sent from Charlie Kirk to his wife, wasn't just emotional. It was cryptic. It hinted at regret, secrets, and something that sounded dangerously close to a confession. And now, the question burning across every platform is this: why did Candace share it? Was it revenge? Was it accidental? Or was it a warning? Because, according to insiders, this wasn't a random leak. It was strategic. And what started as a private message gone public has now spiraled into one of the biggest conservative scandals of the year. This isn't just about a text, it's about betrayal, exposure, and the unraveling of an alliance that once ruled the internet's most powerful corner. And as new screenshots, deleted posts, and insider leaks begin to surface, it's becoming very clear. Candace Owens just lit a fire she may not be able to control. For years, Candace Owens and Charlie Kirk have been seen as the twin pillars of the conservative movement, outspoken, strategic, and practically inseparable when it came to defending their beliefs in public. Together, they became a powerhouse duo, co-hosting Turning Point events, appearing in interviews side by side, and rallying millions of followers around their no-filter political crusade. But behind closed doors, sources say the dynamic between them wasn't as flawless as it seemed. Candace, sharp-tongued and fiercely independent, had started to drift from the carefully controlled Turning Point brand that Charlie commanded. Their once synchronized partnership had slowly fractured into tension, silence, and private shade that fans could only guess at for months. Whispers circulated across X and YouTube commentary channels. Something was off between Candace and Charlie. The smiles looked strained. The public compliments seemed scripted. People close to the Turning Point circle described their relationship as a friendship on life support. Still, nobody expected Candace Owens, known for her precision, her control, her careful timing, to be the one to break the silence. And yet, that's exactly what she did. It started with a tweet, just one line. Some messages were never meant to stay private. The post didn't tag anyone. It didn't include a photo. Just those 8 words. But minutes later, Candace followed it up with a screenshot, an alleged message from Charlie Kirk to his wife, Erica Francevy. It wasn't angry or incriminating at first glance. It was poetic, emotional, and unsettlingly cryptic. I thought silence would protect us, but it's becoming the loudest thing in my life. Forgive me for what I said and what I didn't say. No context, no explanation. Just that the internet froze. Within seconds, the post racked up hundreds of thousands of views. People were screenshotting it faster than it could be deleted, and within 5 minutes, Candace did delete it. But it was already too late. The screenshots spread like wildfire, igniting an online frenzy. The speculation began immediately. Why would Candace post that? Was it a hack? Was she trying to expose Charlie? Was it an accident? Insiders close to both camps rushed to control the narrative. A spokesperson for Charlie Kirk's turning point. USA called the post deeply misleading, suggesting it had been taken out of context. But Candace stayed quiet, eerily quiet. For the next 12 hours, that silence became its own headline. By nightfall, thousands of fans and political commentators were already theorizing. Conservative YouTubers called it the betrayal of the decade. Left-leaning blogs leveled at karma. Twitter. Spaces filled with hundreds of thousands of users debating whether Candace's post hinted at a personal fallout, an affair, or a larger cover-up inside Turning Point itself. Then, at 1:04 a.m., Candace posted again, a single, haunting sentence: "You can't build truth on secrets." And that's when the world realized this wasn't an accident. She wanted people to see that message within hours. Digital sleuths began dissecting the leaked text line by line. The word silence caught everyone's attention. What silence was Charlie referring to? What unsaid thing was eating at him? Was this a personal confession? A professional betrayal? Or something deeper? Something connected to the growing divide between Candace's new independent brand and Charlie's increasingly corporate grip on Turning Point USA. Screenshots of their old interviews resurfaced moments where Charlie and Candace seemed to talk over each other, their tension visible in every glance. In one viral clip from last year, when Charlie mentioned loyalty above ego, Candace visibly stiffened. Fans were now calling that the moment it started. No roveling. Meanwhile, Kirk, Charlie's wife, stayed completely silent. But her silence spoke volumes. People began flooding her Instagram comments with snake emojis, hearts, and prayers, begging her to tell her side. Then, a supposed insider leak emerged. An anonymous Twitter account claiming to be part of the Turning Point communications team posted this: "Candace didn't just find that message. She was sent it." The tweet vanished within 10 minutes, but screenshots ensured it lived forever. That single line flipped the story upside down. Because if Candace wasn't the one who uncovered it, then who was? The next morning, news outlets pounced. Daily Mail, page 6. And the New York Post all ran with variations of the same headline. Candace Owens leaks private message between Charlie Kirk and his wife. But who sent it to her? Podcasts lit up with speculation. Some said it was a publicity stunt, a calculated drama to boost engagement. Others insisted there was real betrayal behind the scenes, that Candace had reached a breaking point with the man who once controlled her public image. As the chaos spread, a new narrative emerged. The message wasn't about love at all. It was about power. One anonymous source told Newsweek, Charlie and Candace have been clashing privately for months. She felt censored. He felt betrayed. That post wasn't random. It was her way of saying, "I have your secrets, too." And the more people looked at the timing, the stranger it got. Candace had been teasing a major truth project, a documentary exposing hypocrisy in conservative media, set to drop in 2 weeks. Could the post have been part of that rollout? Or was it something much more personal? Then came the strangest part. A Reddit user claiming to be a deleted intern at Turning Point uploaded a blurry screenshot of what appeared to be an internal Slack message from Charlie's staff, timestamped an hour after Candace's post. The message read, "Lockdown comes. No statements. If she goes public with the rest, it's over." No one could confirm its authenticity, but it didn't matter. The internet believed it, and now everyone wanted to know, what was the rest? Because if that single message was only part of what Candace had, then whatever she's holding next might not just destroy a friendship, it could blow open one of the most carefully crafted alliances in American media. And the clock is already ticking, because sources are saying, Candace isn't done yet. She's just getting started. Isn't done yet. She's just getting started. The morning after Candace Owens deleted that infamous tweet, the political internet wasn't just buzzing, it was howling. It wasn't about policy, ideology, or election strategy anymore. It was personal. The conservative empire that had built itself on unity, loyalty, and family values was suddenly cracking open under the weight of its own secrets. And the canter of that earthquake, a private message that looked a lot like a confession, and a public figure who decided the world needed to see it. By sunrise, Candace's name was on every major outlet. Fox News ran a discreet lower third banner. Owens sparks controversy over Kirk leak. MSNBC called it a digital betrayal in the conservative kingdom. Even The View couldn't resist, with Joy Behar cackling, "Oh, I love when the moral high ground gets muddy." But what no one knew yet was that the tweet was just the beginning. Because by noon, new screenshots began surfacing, not from Candace, but from anonymous accounts claiming to have the rest of the message. The leaked screenshots showed an extended conversation, allegedly between Charlie and his wife, Erica. The tone was desperate, pleading, and far darker than anyone expected. "Charlie, I told them it was all politics, but they don't believe me anymore." "Erica, you told them?" "Who did you tell?" "Charlie." "Charlie, the board." They found the emails. "I said it was a misunderstanding, but Candace knows. She always knows." Those words, "Candace knows," detonated across the internet like a bomb. Within minutes, hashtags like #Candace knows everything and #TurningPointSecrets were trending globally. YouTubers started analyzing the timestamps on the supposed screenshots. And sure enough, they matched Candace's original post almost perfectly. The implication was chilling. Candace hadn't just stumbled onto a single message. She'd been sitting on entire conversations, and now everyone wanted to know what was in them. The war of silence behind closed doors. Turning Point USA scrambled to contain the explosion. Anonymous staffers told journalists that internal meetings had gone nuclear. One producer described it like a reality show with no cameras shouting, phones slamming, people crying. Candace, meanwhile, remained eerily calm. She posted nothing, said nothing, but her silence became its own storm. Every hour that passed without a denial made it look more deliberate, more calculated. Then, a shocking twist. Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife, finally broke her silence on her Instagram story. She posted a simple Bible verse, "For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought to light." Luke 8:17. The internet collectively lost its mind. Was this a confession? A warning? Or a subtle nod that she had more to reveal? Podcasters began speculating wildly. Some claimed Charlie's emails referred to internal Turning Point communications about money, suggesting there might be financial improprieties buried under this personal feud. Others swore it was personal, that there were private messages or even recordings Candace had been threatening to release for months. And then, the most chilling theory of all began circulating, that Candace Owens had kept receipts for years, not just on Charlie, but on multiple conservative power players. One anonymous tweet from a verified political insider read, "She's had the vault ready since 2021. Everyone knows it. Nobody says it out loud." Within hours, the vault became the next viral mystery. The call that changed everything later that evening. A podcast producer for The Daily Wire, Candace's former employer, leaked a bombshell detail. He claimed Candace had made a phone call the night before posting Charlie's message. The call, according to the source, was recorded for insurance. He even provided a partial transcript to the Washington Sentinel. "Candace, you tell him I'm done being quiet. He wants to talk about loyalty. Let's talk about honesty." Unknown voice, "Candace, that's not smart. You're going to start a war. Candace, then let it burn." That single quote, "then let it burn," became an instant cultural catchphrase. Printed on memes, t-shirts, and TikTok edits. But it also drew the line. This wasn't a misunderstanding. This was a deliberate act of war, and what came next confirmed it. The audio leaked 2 nights later. A mysterious account called @PatriotFiles88 uploaded a 30-second audio clip to X. The voice was unmistakably Charlie Kirk's, urgent, panicked, and whispering into what sounded like a phone. She's bluffing. She doesn't have the messages. She can't have them. Unless someone on the board leaked it. If that's the case, we're all screwed. The clip spread faster than wildfire. Even people who weren't political junkies were sucked into the drama. Reaction videos flooded YouTube. Twitter Spaces ran for 12-hour marathons. And everyone wanted the same thing: to know what Candace was planning next. For the first time, Charlie Kirk went silent. No tweets, no statements. Not even a retweet. His PR team's social media went dark, with Turning Point deleting comments faster than they appeared. And yet, something even stranger began happening. Several small conservative accounts that had defended Charlie suddenly started deleting their pro-Kirk posts. One even tweeted, "We were told not to comment anymore. Something big is coming." The first public follow-tan, the 3rd day of the scandal. A leaked email from a major Turning Point donor began circulating. The donor, furious about the controversy, allegedly demanded clarity about the nature of Charlie's communications. The email included one particularly damning line: "If even 10% of what she's implying is true, we're pulling out immediately." When that email went public, Turning Point's stock of credibility crashed overnight. Sponsors began distancing themselves. Podcasts withdrew collaborations. And even longtime conservative allies started posting cryptic messages about truth coming to light. And then came Candace, at 9:11 p.m. that same night. She finally broke her silence with one tweet: "They told me to stay silent when they lied to all of you. I won't do that anymore." She followed it with a photo, not of Charlie or Erica, but of a locked iPhone labeled evidence. The internet erupted. The twist: the message wasn't about Erica the next morning. Candace appeared on an independent livestream titled "When Truth Hurts." Her expression was calm. Her tone razor sharp. "Everyone keeps asking why I shared that message," she said. "The answer is simple: because it wasn't meant for his wife." Gasps. Chat exploded. Candace continued, "Everyone assumed I leaked a love note. But if you actually read it, you'll realize it wasn't romantic. It was an apology, a coded one. That message wasn't about a relationship. It was about a cover-up." Viewers froze. She leaned closer to the mic. What Charlie was asking forgiveness for wasn't personal. It was professional. It was about what he said publicly and what he didn't say behind closed doors. She stopped for a moment, then dropped the bomb. He wasn't apologizing to his wife. He was apologizing to me. The internet imploded. Clips of her statement went instantly viral. Everyone had assumed the private message was something intimate or marital. But Candace flipped the entire narrative in a single sentence: if what she was saying was true, then Charlie Kirk's supposed message of remorse wasn't about romance, was about betrayal, fallout, and fear within minutes. New proof surfaced: old photos of Candace and Charlie backstage at events, mid-argument, or sitting apart while others chatted. Twitter detectives dug up a 2022 clip where Charlie interrupted Candace mid-sentence and she shot him a death glare that fans now called the look. Everyone was rewatching every interaction, every speech, every conference. Candace's supporters hailed her as fearless, the woman finally calling out the hypocrisy behind the conservative facade. But her critics accused her of sabotage, saying she was tearing apart the movement from the inside. Yet even her harshest detractors couldn't ignore one truth: she hadn't said anything false. Everything she'd posted so far was verifiable, And in the middle of the chaos, Erica Kirk, once silent, finally posted one final statement, a single sentence on her Instagram story. You never really know someone until they use your pain for a platform. Was she talking about Candace or Charlie? No one knew, but the damage was already done, because now, the story wasn't about one leaked message anymore. It was about the collapse of trust in friendships, in alliances, and in the image of integrity that had defined a movement. And as the dust began to settle, one thing became clear. Candace Owens had more messages, and the next one might not just end Charlie's career, it might end the illusion of unity that conservative media had built for years. Because the first leak was about confession. The next one, sources claimed, was about betrayal. By day 4, it wasn't just a controversy anymore. It was a war. The internet had turned into a full-blown tribunal, dissecting every syllable of Charlie Kirk's alleged messages and every silence from Candace Owens, like digital detectives in a courtroom without rules. Twitter felt like a burning newsroom. YouTubers, journalists, and conspiracy accounts all screamed the same question. What is she holding back? Because everyone knew there was more. Candace had made sure of that. And at 7:33 p.m. that evening, she confirmed it. On her Instagram Live, she appeared in near darkness, the glow of her laptop lighting her face. No makeup, no filter, no background music. She leaned toward the camera and said in a low, steady voice, "I've tried to protect people. I really did. But when the truth keeps getting buried, silence becomes complicity." She paused. The comment section exploded. Over 500,000 people tuned in within minutes. Hearts and fire emojis flooding the screen. Then, she clicked her mouse, and what she showed next sent the internet into meltdown. A screen recording, it showed a private conversation allegedly between Candace and Charlie from months ago. The chat was labeled Secure Line. The date at the top read, February 21st, 2024. Candace, we can't keep defending what we know isn't true. Charlie, the donors don't need to know the details. Optics matter more than honesty. Candace, you're playing God with the truth. Charlie, no. I'm protecting what's left of it. That last line, I'm protecting what's left of it, blew up like dynamite. Within seconds, it was trending across X, TikTok, and YouTube. Commentators called it the death sentence for Turning Point. Others said it was the biggest backroom confession in modern conservative media. But the real chaos came 10 minutes later. When Candace revealed something she claimed no one else had seen before, she pulled up a folder titled The Archive. Inside were dozens of files labeled with names, initials that matched known conservative figures. "This," she said, "is why I couldn't stay quiet." Her voice cracked. "They've all seen it." They all looked away. She hovered her mouse over one file marked EK 2023 and said quietly, "That's his wife." She knew too. The screen froze, her live abruptly cut off. The feed went black. The chat exploded with panic. What happened? Is she hacked? Did someone shut her down? For the next 30 minutes, Candace's accounts went silent. Her live replay disappeared. Her Twitter timeline glitched. Half her posts vanished, replaced by an error message, content not available. Conspiracy theorists went wild. Some claimed her feed was taken down by Turning Point lawyers. Others said she'd triggered legal panic mode. One viral post read, "She showed the archive." That was her red line. They pulled the plug, and while everyone was refreshing her page, something stranger happened. A new account appeared at The Vault Truth, posting 3 screenshots from what appeared to be the same secure line conversation Candace had shown. But this time, the messages were longer. "Charlie, you told me you deleted the backups." "Candace, I said I deleted them from your server." "Charlie, you're going to regret this." The post included the caption. She wasn't bluffing. In less than an hour, the account gained 2.4 million followers before being permanently suspended. The timing was too perfect, too suspicious. Even journalists couldn't make sense of it. The Daily Mail ran the headline, "Was Candace Owens silenced?" Anonymous account posts new leaks as Turning Point scrambles. Meanwhile, on Telegram, someone claiming to be a former security contractor for Turning Point posted a cryptic message. There's a reason she called it the archive. It's not just texts. It's recordings. That single post changed everything. If Candace had recordings, this scandal wasn't just damaging, it was apocalyptic within hours. A rumor began circulating that she possessed audio of private donor meetings, unedited discussions from event planning calls, and possibly personal conversations between top conservative figures, including Charlie and his wife. But the most shocking leak dropped at 11:02 p.m. A 45-second clip, posted anonymously to Reddit, allegedly featured Charlie's voice, tired, defensive, and trembling. "If it comes out, we're finished. Erica can't know. Candace has the drive. She always had the drive." The internet froze. He said her name. Candace. Thousands of users uploaded, downloaded, reshared, reposted. It was everywhere, even after moderators tried to remove it by midnight. Every major outlet was calling it the Owens-Kirk recording. But while fans and foes fought over who was right or wrong, something eerie happened. Candace's husband, George Farmer, broke his silence. On his private X account, he tweeted, "Truth isn't chaos. It's correction. Stand by her." Those 3 words, "stand by her," ignited the internet again. People flooded his replies, calling him the new Kevin, Federline of politics, or the last man standing in the conservative storm. But others praised him for defending her amid what they called the smear campaign of the century. And just when the dust began to settle, Erica Kirk, Charlie's wife, posted again, this time a video. She looked tired, her eyes red, her tone soft but resolute. "This isn't about politics. This is about truth and about people using it as a weapon. I can't defend lies, even from those I love." The video cut off mid-sentence, but the implication was nuclear. Viewers flooded the comments with one phrase. She confirmed it. In less than 24 hours. Candace's truth storm had evolved into a war of confessions, silence, and moral implosion. Her camp claimed she was exposing hypocrisy. Charlie's defenders said she was orchestrating a smear for revenge. But behind the public chaos, a private battle was already escalating. Multiple outlets received cease and desist letters from Turning Point's legal team, warning them not to distribute or report on fabricated materials. Yet, mysteriously, no one denied the authenticity of the messages, and that's when Candace returned one final time at 3:16 a.m. She posted a single tweet. "I didn't destroy anything. I revealed what was already broken." Then, nothing. No follow-ups. No clarifications. No interviews. Her followers waited. Her enemies panicked. And across social media, the whispers began. People claimed Candace had given her archive to a trusted third party, a journalist known for exposing powerful figures with instructions to release everything if anything happened to her. Whether true or not, it didn't matter. The fear was real, because now both Candace and Charlie's reputations were hanging by a thread. And as the world waited for the next drop, a new mystery emerged, one even Candace didn't anticipate. A folder labeled Vault_Erica started appearing in anonymous email inboxes across media outlets. Its contents unknown. But the file name alone was enough to send shockwaves through the already fractured alliance. If the archive exposed lies, then the vault might expose everything, and, according to one anonymous journalist who claims to have seen it. The final chapter in this scandal isn't just about betrayal, it's about the one person who might have orchestrated the entire thing from the shadows. The one person neither Candace nor Charlie ever saw coming by sunrise the next day. The chaos had reached an entirely new dimension. It was no longer just conservative circles debating loyalty or betrayal. This story had spilled over into mainstream culture, dominating every feed, every comment section, every headline. What had started as a political rift was now being described as a modern digital war between truth and self-preservation. Major news outlets couldn't get enough of it. CNN ran a segment titled "The Implosion of the Rights Power Duo," while Fox News, attempting damage control, aired an emergency panel where half the guests defended Candace and the other half accused her of weaponizing private faith for attention. The New York Times published an op-ed called "Candace Owens and the Death of Loyalty Politics." But it wasn't just the media everyone was picking. Sides.Twitter became a war zone overnight. On one side, the hashtag #IST and with Candace movement exploded. Her supporters flooded the platform with posts about accountability, honesty, and courage. One viral thread read, "She's not destroying the movement, she's saving it. She's the only one with the guts to pull back the curtain." They saw her as the lone truth teller in a sea of hypocrisy. The whistleblower who had risked her entire career to expose corruption in a machine that once elevated her. On the other side was hashtag Team Charlie, fiercely defending the man who had built an empire from nothing. His supporters claimed Candace's leaks were doctored, taken out of context, and strategically released to coincide with her upcoming documentary, One Turning Point. Staffer even went on X and posted, "Don't fall for the PR stunt. She's not revealing truth, she's selling drama." That post alone drew 3 million views before being deleted. Then came the celebrities, and the fire got hotter. Elon Musk chimed in with a cryptic tweet. "In politics, loyalty dies, the second truth starts talking." Kim Kardashian posted on her Instagram story, "If you love someone, don't air their pain online," which fans took as a veiled reference to Candace's viral posts. Meanwhile, Kanye, who once shared a stage with both Candace and Charlie, posted a video saying, "I warned y'all about fake prophets," before deleting it an hour later. Even Joe Rogan weighed in during a casual segment of his podcast, shaking his head as he said, "They're eating each other alive over there. It's like a cult that forgot who the leader is." The line instantly became a meme. But while the public feasted on drama, something darker was happening behind the scenes. Industry insiders began leaking details about the fallout within Turning Point. Sources described mass panic as donors froze millions in funding, pending an internal review. One alleged insider email posted by a political journalist on X read, "The trust is gone. The leaks are only the beginning. Prepare for exposure." Simultaneously, news broke that Candace had been locked out of several official Turning Point servers, allegedly, to prevent further data compromise. But some reports claimed it was she who had initiated the digital lockdown, using her own insider credentials to pull down copies of archived messages and videos. The hashtag the Archive Israel trended for 48 hours straight. Then, something nobody expected happened. Several mid-level Turning Point employees publicly resigned. One posted a resignation letter to Twitter, saying, "I joined to fight for values, not vanity. If Candace is lying, prove it. If she's not, then everything we stood for was built on manipulation." The letter went viral, prompting dozens of similar truth resignations across the organization. Meanwhile, conservative churches began taking sides too. prominent faith leaders in Texas, Florida, and Tennessee hosted live sermons discussing the sin of exposure versus the sin of deceit. Entire congregations were arguing whether Candace was a prophet or a traitor. One pastor dramatically declared during Sunday service, "If your house burns down because you hid lies in the attic, don't blame the one who lit the match, blame the lies that made it flammable." That quote alone got turned into a TikTok trend with millions of views, set to eerie piano music and clips of Candace's face dissolving into flames. By this point, the scandal wasn't just a story, it was a movement. Influencers and reaction YouTubers turned it into digital theater, narrating chapters of the saga like a serialized show. A few even began calling it Faithgate. And as all this unfolded, the shockwaves hit the corporate world. Two of Turning Point's biggest donors, major names in media and real estate, announced they were suspending financial partnerships pending transparency. Another leaked memo from an advertising partner stated, "This has gone from controversy to contagion. Association now carries reputational risk." Inside, sources told reporters that Kirk's inner circle was fracturing, with longtime allies cutting off contact out of fear their own communications might surface. One even claimed Charlie's lawyers were negotiating with multiple journalists to bury unreleased files. But Candace, she stayed UMBOTHERED. Her ex-bio changed overnight to a single phrase: "Truth doesn't need friends." That alone sent her followers into hysterics. Memes flooded the internet, her face superimposed over Joan of Arc, over storm clouds, even over George Washington's portrait, with captions like "Candace Owens, the revolutionary." And yet, amid all the chaos, something deeply unsettling started to unfold. A former Turning Point employee posted a now-deleted video claiming that the Vault_Erica file, the mysterious document reportedly circulating privately among journalists, contained something bigger than any text or email, he said. Voice trembling, "If people saw what's in there, they'd realize Candace wasn't exposing Charlie. She was protecting herself." That one line sent a chill through the internet. Suddenly, the narrative flipped again. Was Candace a whistleblower or a strategist covering her tracks before something bigger came out? Then, another layer of madness hit. Anonymous tech sleuths claimed they'd found traces of deleted metadata connected to Candace's live, showing that the secure line conversation she displayed had been edited. Not fabricated, but trimmed. Parts of the timestamps were missing. Conservative pundits pounced on it instantly. "If she's telling the truth," one said on air, "why is she editing the evidence?" Candace refused to respond. Instead, she posted a cryptic quote from Proverbs: "Wisdom builds her house, but folly tears it down with her own hands." And just like that, the world was divided again. Half believed she was warning Charlie. The other half thought she was warning herself. Meanwhile, new audio clips, allegedly from the Vault_Erica folder, began circulating privately among journalists. None were published officially, but whispers of what they contained started spreading. Discussions of strategic donations, offshore accounts, and media partnerships. If those recordings ever saw daylight, they wouldn't just ruin reputations, they could trigger investigations. And as all of this unfolded, something strange happened. For the first time since the saga began, Candace Owens disappeared from public view. No tweets, no appearances, no interviews, just silence. Then, at 11:59 p.m., her verified X account suddenly posted a single, haunting message, a screenshot of an unread email with the subject line, "If you talk again, we release everything." No caption. No context, the internet erupted. Within seconds, #they threatened Candace began trending. Her supporters claimed she was being blackmailed. Skeptics said it was theater. But everyone agreed on one thing. This had spiraled into something far bigger than any feud. Because at this point, it wasn't just Candace versus Charlie. It was truth versus control. And somewhere, deep inside encrypted servers and deleted folders, the vault, whatever it contained, was ticking like a time bomb. The only question left was, who would detonate it first? It was past midnight when the final twist hit, and it hit harder than anyone expected. The story, the leaks, the betrayals, the vault, everything had been building toward this moment. At exactly 12:03 a.m., a private Substack account under the name E.FranceV, Erica Kirk's verified email, posted a long, emotional essay titled "The Message You Never Saw." Within 20 minutes, the link went viral before it was abruptly taken down. But not before screenshots spread across the internet like wildfire. And those screenshots changed everything. The essay began softly. Almost poetically, people see our smiles, our prayers, our speeches, and think that's who we are. But behind every verse quoted on stage is a verse we broke in private. Then, halfway through, the tone shifted darker. Roar. You think Candace exposed a secret? She exposed a system. But she doesn't realize she was part of it too. That single line detonated like a bomb. According to Erica, the truth wasn't black or white, it was complicit gray. She claimed that Candace, Charlie, and herself had once agreed to control the narrative surrounding turning points, funding sources to maintain influence and moral unity. Erica wrote that Candace had played the role of the conscience, the one who would pretend to challenge from within to give the brand credibility. Then, the revelation that shattered everything. The revelation that shattered everything. The message Candace leaked wasn't a confession. It was a warning. Charlie was trying to stop what was already in motion, the collapse of the THO. Ruby kiss. Ruby kiss. Only Ruby kiss. Only Ruby kiss has the luxurious texture that may send. Facade we've built together. The internet imploded. If Erica's essay was real and her verified credentials made it almost impossible to fake, then Candace's righteous crusade was part truth, part heater. She wasn't just exposing hypocrisy. She was dismantling the very illusion she had once helped create. The essay ended with a cryptic sign-off. You can't free yourself by burning the house you helped build, because the smoke still carries your name. And then, silence. The post vanished. Erica's account was deactivated, but within an hour, Candace Owens' name was trending at #1 worldwide, followed by #the message you never saw and #Candace knew. The reactions were volcanic. Half the internet screamed that Erica was lying to protect her husband. Others insisted it all fit too perfectly, that Candace's timing, her leaks, her silence, it all seemed too controlled, too cinematic. A viral tweet put it bluntly. Candace didn't blow the whistle. She wrote the script. Even Joe Rogan addressed it in a surprise midnight stream. Looking half shocked, half fascinated, he said, "If that essay's legit, then this whole thing was the most elaborate PR collapse I've ever seen. It's like they all built a bomb together, and now they're arguing over who lit the fuse." But then came the most haunting development yet. At 2:11 a.m., an anonymous file was uploaded to a cloud-sharing site under the name faithfolder_final.zip. Its metadata linked back to an email associated with Candace's former assistant. Inside were 27 short audio clips, each love with dates, each featuring snippets of conversations between Candace, Charlie, and unidentified voices discussing donor management, message control, and public optics. By dawn, major outlets confirmed at least 3 clips were authentic. The last one, time-stamped from 2022, was the most chilling. Candace's unmistakable voice could be heard saying, "If it ever comes to it, I'll be the one who tells the story." not because it's right, but because I can. The world froze. That line replayed across every social feed, every headline, every podcast. Not because it's right, but because I can. Suddenly. The narrative flipped once again. Was Candace Owens truly exposing hypocrisy, or was she orchestrating it all for control? Revenge and reinvention. The same woman millions hailed as the fearless truth-teller now looked like a mastermind who had turned her own empire into an experiment. A living documentary of manipulation, influence, and exposure. And then, the final move no one saw coming. Candace reappeared at exactly 8 a.m. She posted a single black and white video. No captions, no music, no intro. Her voice, calm but cold, said, "They can leak. They can lie. They can twist every word I've said. But the truth doesn't die. It just waits for its moment." She smiled faintly, the same controlled, unnerving half-smile that once made her famous, and whispered one final line before the video cut to black. "The next message isn't mine." Then, the post disappeared after 5 minutes. Fans were terrified. Critics were electrified. Journalists scrambled. Who had the next message? What did it mean? Was she handing the story over to someone else, or warning that someone else was about to expose her? Hours later, reporters began receiving anonymous, encrypted emails with attachment labeled CO_final and the truthdraft.mp4. None have been publicly verified. But the few who've hinted at seeing them all said the same thing. This isn't over. It's only getting darker. Now the entire internet is holding its breath, waiting for the next file, the next leak, the next message. Because this isn't just a feud anymore, it's a chain reaction. Candace Owens has shattered her empire. Charlie Kirk's reputation is in ruins. Erica Kirk has vanished. And the mysterious vault still hasn't been opened. Somewhere, deep inside encrypted servers. The truth, whatever it really is waiting to drop. And when it does, it won't just expose one person or one movement, it'll expose all of us. Because if the last few weeks proved anything, it's that the line between truth and manipulation doesn't exist anymore. Candace Owens didn't destroy the system. She became it. And now? After every leak, every silence, every vanishing account, the world is asking the same thing. What happens next? Candace Owens didn't just expose a feud. She cracked open the machinery of influence itself. Erica's essay, Charlie's recordings, the vault. The archive, each revelation peeled away another layer of control. And now nobody knows who's manipulating whom. Is Candace the villain who staged her own truth? The martyr who took the hit to burn a corrupt empire from the inside? Or the puppet master who knew every headline before it happened? The internet can't agree, but one thing's for sure. This story isn't done. Rumors are already swirling that the truthdraft.mp for the mysterious file journalists claim to have received contains the final proof connecting every piece together. Some say it reveals who was really funding the movement all along. Others whisper it's not about politics anymore, but about something personal, something that could destroy every name attached to this saga. So now it's your turn to decide, whose side are you on? Do you believe Candace was fighting for transparency or fighting for power? Was Erica the voice of reason or the final chess move in a game she was forced to play? And what about Charlie Mastermind, scapegoat, or just another casualty in a story that's devouring everyone who built it? Drop your theories below. The internet is watching, and every comment fuels the storm. Because one thing's clear, truth isn't safe anymore. It's viral. And somewhere in the shadows of deleted accounts and encrypted files, the next message is already being written. So hit that like button, share this story, and subscribe with notifications on, because when that final file drops, when the Truth Draft goes public, you're going to want to be the first to see the ending no one's ready for. This isn't politics anymore. This is prophecy, and it's just beginning. And it's just beginning.